What's going on, folks? Fight Day live chat, UFC 279. It is now Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson in the main event. What a shakeup we've had over the last 24 hours, I guess we can say now, maybe less than that. It was really that like 7 hour time frame between the time the weigh-in started, which is when they initially said that there might be some issues in regards to Hamzat Chimaev's weight miss. And then obviously, right when I guess Dana went live at 6 p.m. Eastern on all the news networks and his Instagram page to let people know about all the changes and all the shakeup. So I gotta say though, this is one of those spots where I don't mind the last minute changes. It kind of sucks for the fighters in terms of having to fight completely different stylistic matchups now. And in the case of Kevin Holland and Tony Ferguson, they have to fight an extra 2 rounds. But as you saw from Kevin Holland's post, something about bag boy making money, I'm sure he got perfectly compensated for this fight to take it on short notice, knowing that it's a bad stylistic matchup for him as well. I'm the answer that he gave at the weigh-ins yesterday to Joe Rogan saying, "Is this a tougher matchup for you?" He goes, "Fuck yeah, of course it is, but it's still going to be fun." So he's going to go in there and he's going to give it his all for sure, but he knows he'll more than likely be coming out on the losing end tonight. Fun fight regardless. The grudge match started yesterday or the day before at the pre-fight press conference. As from what I heard, they were the original reason as to why the fight is being or the press conference was being canceled is because the ruckus that started between them, which eventually poured into the Nate Diaz camp as well. So storyline wise, this should be a fun fight. And then in the main event, we don't need a grudge match. We don't need a grudge match between, Nate Diaz and Tony Ferguson. They respect each other. And we saw right off the bat when they faced off, they shook each other's hands. And then even in the interview that Rogan did with Nate Diaz, he goes, "Yo, Ferguson's been around a while. That guy's a G. This fight should have happened a long time ago. Now we finally get to make it happen." So phenomenal fight, possible fight of the year contender. Cannot wait for the plethora of fights that we got here. I think honestly, this is the best case scenario for the UFC. Nobody could have predicted this to happen, but like this is best case scenario. It got the crowd talking. You know what I mean? The audience, everybody was talking about it yesterday. It was trending like crazy. I was in the Spotify live with Ariel and the guys over at the Ringer MMA, and they were breaking numbers in terms of how many people were actually tuning into the show. So I think that we're going to see that spill over into the pay-per-view this tonight. And I'm not saying it's going to break records or like go over 1 million views or 1 million pay-per-view buys or anything like that, but it still provides a much more entertaining matchup. But yeah, I would much rather see this. And you can obviously see it indicated in the or indicated in the betting lines, right? Like Tony Ferguson was a plus 250 underdog. Nate Diaz was a plus 700 underdog. Now going up against each other, Ferguson's only minus 140 and Nate Diaz is plus 120, right? And then even Holland, well, I guess Holland's a plus 400 underdog now. So he ends up getting stuck with the most difficult matchup out of that entire shuffle of the top three fights. But from a betting and fun perspective, it still ends up being one of the best fights. And then Daniel Rodriguez versus Li Jingliang. That is an entertaining fight, folks. That will be a fun fight. That's going to be a slugfest. And if you guys were following me on Twitter or Instagram, you'll see that Li Jingliang is actually my free bet of the night. He's my dog of the night play. I have 1 unit on him at plus 142. I managed to snag that yesterday night as I was putting up the final bets on my Patreon page. The reason I bring up the Patreon page is that's where you can find the remainder of my 5 bets for tonight. I am on a 3-event winning streak or longer, which, by my own policy that I made up myself, are the only times that my bets will be behind. Well, all my bets will be behind a paywall. Even, when the bets are free, I normally drop them on Friday for everybody on my Twitter pages, but the people on the Patreon page get the bets right away so they can get the best line possible. More often than not, the best line possible, but I am not a genius when it comes to line movement. So sometimes I'll get stuck on the other end and eat some CLV and be on the other end of CLV, I should say. But your boy's been on a heater, since April or so, and I hope to keep it going, especially with the straight picks, which have been coming through for your boy. Also, again, I mentioned it yesterday, but I was supposed to do the pay-per-view parlay for the patrons this week, but was unable to get to that due to just being all over the goddamn place. Um, as most people remember, earlier this week, I got back from Montreal, and it's just been a whirlwind ever since getting back. Yeah, Tristan, I see you saying it here too, saying, damn, your camera quality is fire right now. I'm surprised too. This is nuts. I pushed it to 720, but it still didn't never looked as crisp when I initially did it a couple days ago. But god damn, it looks fresh and smooth too. Maybe the internet connection is super high level right now. I don't know what it is, but the quality of the video is looking damn good. Hopefully, it can stay this way for future streams as well. So normally at the top of the show, I like to go over what my bets are, but again, I only am giving out Li Jing Liang as my dog with an I play at plus 142. Quick breakdown of that. Daniel Rodriguez probably has more tools in his toolbox. Not to mention, uh, he has more ways to win. He's obviously going to be the slightly bigger guy here since he didn't have to cut as much weight as Li Jing Liang. But the issue that I have is that the majority of Daniel Rodriguez's success when he does fight his opponents comes from when he's able to exchange with them inside the pocket. And he's going to be able to do that here against Li Jingliang, but he's going to be facing a heavy, heavy puncher in Li. Now, if you guys remember my breakdowns throughout the week when we were talking about the Leech versus Tony Ferguson, the reason I kept giving Ferguson a little bit more of a chance in that fight is because of his unorthodox movement. And, he doesn't exchange in the pocket as much, and he's very unorthodox and wacky with his approach compared to Daniel Rodriguez, who's a little bit more just straightforward, southpaw. So that's obviously going to be in his favor in this fight. But to get those shots off, to get his offense off, to get his output off, he needs to exchange in the pocket with Li Jingliang. Li, heavy hitter, has some solid durability of his own, and at plus 142, I think he's got to be the side here. And what should end up being a firefight, and I think the power and the big knockout power of Li Jingliang will come through. But wait, there's going to be people to be like, hey, what are you talking about? Daniel Rodriguez never been knocked out in his career. He has not fought Li Jingliang, and Li Jingliang has been the first to knock out a handful of guys in their careers. He could end up doing the same thing here against Daniel Rodriguez. So give me the Leech. Plus 142. I think you can still get him around plus 135, plus 140, which is still a great line in my opinion. But I'm glad that I ended up pulling the trigger on him here. All right, let's get into the live chat, right? That's what the show's all about, right? Fight Day live chat. We talk about it. We talk to everybody that's in the chat here. So let me just take a swig of some water here real quick, and we'll get into what you guys are saying. Vinny in the chat, what a shake up to the card, saying madness after I got home from work yesterday. Absolutely crazy. But I'm glad that we came out with better fights and not shittier fights. Jared Curry in the chat saying, no more sleeps. That is correct. Speaking of sleeps, I had this weird fucking dream last night that like I was getting ready to go somewhere and I was shaving my beard. And then I just kept going shorter and shorter. And then before I knew it, I had like a fucking little pencil lineup. And I was terrified. I'm like, oh my God, I hope this is a dream. I hope not even a dream. I hope this is a nightmare because these luscious beard locks are going nowhere. Cope's Corner, cannot wait for combat. Me neither, my friend. He's saying first time last minute changes worked out for all of us. That is true. That is true. It's not often it's ever been the better end of things here. We never win. Rejoice. Exactly. DJ Lowe saying crazy turn of events. Absolutely. DXJC saying the last minute changes make every fight 100% more competitive. That is correct. Maybe not the Holland and Chimaev fight, but at least there's that added incentive of their grudge match, right? I think that makes this fight even more fun. Aaron saying Hamza by sub. I like it, my friend. I like it. And shout out to Dan Stupp of the Action Network. I managed to scrounge together another co-main event breakdown for you guys, which just released on the Action Network. And the pick that I ended up going there for that Hamzat and Holland fight is Hamzat by submission, which currently sits at plus 250. DXJC saying rather this than watching Tony and Nate both get fed to the wolves live on pay-per-view. Exactly. Jared Crazy saying they probably said Holland and the Leech 50% off Venom coupons. Holland probably got an extra pair of kicks from Dana, for being honest. Steve Brown in the chat saying, "Sup, Captain Colonel Locke and all. I believe in miracles." Well, it was a miracle last night that Nate Diaz is no longer going to get executed live on pay-per-view. Dave Goodrich saying, "I am excited for tonight, as am I." My friend DJ Lowe saying, "I personally think the betting lines are better to make money now." That is correct. I do actually end up having, so I lied. From the original 3 matchups at the top of this pay-per-view card, I had the under 1.5 in Nate Diaz and Hamzat Chimaev at plus 120. No other bet on any other fight. Now with this new matchup of these new 3 fights, I actually have 2 bets, and one of them obviously being the Leech. Then I have another one on the other 2 fights. Andrew Marchenko in the chat saying, "What's up, Locke? Because of all this mess, the prices on DK are all over the place. I feel like Leech still wins, and he's going to be close to 0% owned at 9K. Yeah, I forgot that he's still pretty much up there. He could still go out there and get a knockout. You know what I mean? I think he wins by knockout, honestly. Cope's Corner saying somehow Alex Bahunin on Twitter predicted this would be the 3 belts day before or more. It was nuts. Yes, shout out to my guy Alex Bahunin. That's how it should have been the whole time. Glad that's how it ended up being. DXJC saying Jing Liang is an Asian Giga Chad, and now that he's the underdog, he's guaranteed KO D-Rod. I hope that's what comes through, because my bank account will be very happy if that's what happens. Jared Curry saying Barnett Collier fight doesn't go to decision minus 165. Feels like it should be closer, to minus 240. Even with Collier's past history, Barnett either Hail Marys or dies trying. It comes down to whether Jake Collier actually puts his foot on the gas, in my opinion, right? Like, if he actually goes for it and tries to get him out of there, he'll likely be able to. But maybe he could be cautious about the big power coming back his way and just tries to play it safe. That's the holdup that I have. Like, we've seen Collier happily take decision victories in the past. That's what my holdup in terms of playing him inside the distance where the fight doesn't go to decision comes from. But this is a guy he should finish. Vinny G reminding you guys, sign up for the Patreon. I'm not paying him to say that. Just saying. Tristan Sherrill, see you in the chat, my friend. Philippe Alvarez saying, thoughts on Nate and Chimaev's fights. Do you hope them to be any good since we had this shit show so far? These are much better fights, my friend. These are much, much better fights. They're going to be way more entertaining. I'm happy. Detective Allen saying, how the fuck did Barnett miss weight, by the way? It's Barnett. Look at the guy. And it was hilarious because I remember seeing him on the Contender Series this past Tuesday as Dana was walking out at the end of the fights. Barnett went up to him and like shook his hand and all that shit. I'm like, oh, so you've already been in Vegas and you still missed the weight? Come on, dog. D. Brown saying someone is going to get a little bit hurt tonight. Might be Holland. Joseph Wheatley saying Hamzat sub. Right there with you, my friend. Detective Allen saying, damn, bro, must have woke up and rushed to the mirror after that. Bro, I did. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? Black Den 3 saying, just joined the Patreon again. You are the only reason I have the app. Let's get this bread. Good luck tonight. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate the love. Let's hope we end up cashing tonight. Zero Bob saying, Rosa, good dog. Maybe with the weight miss, but like I don't think that's going to affect Hakeem too much in the spot. I think it's the first time he's ever missed weight, if I'm not mistaken. He is a very disciplined fighter. He won't make many mistakes. And I think it's going to be difficult for Rosa to find those holes in his game. Rosa has way too many holes in his striking for me to be confident in him in this spot. Zero Bob saying, too many good dogs on this card. You know what? Let me just quickly run through it and tell you guys who I think is live. I may not be picking them or predicting them to win, but I think they could be live. Johan Lainez is live. Daniel Wolf is live, in my opinion. Dennis Tululian is live. Anton Trikalji is live. Johnny Walker is live. Li Jingliang, obviously. And Nate Diaz. So, yeah, I guess you're right. There are some live dogs. Just make sure you don't pick the ones that don't end up coming through. Good luck, my friend. Zero Bob saying, because Hakeem goes to a lot of splits and can't trust him. That is true. So I've been kind of harping on him all week about that, right? Like, it's hard to back him at minus 200 because he never really has like fight defining moments or big moments in fights that say, okay, he clearly won that fight. He just edges these guys out, and he does it quite effectively. But like at a certain point, it could end up being too close that he ends up giving up a split decision or something like that. Is Arosa going to be that guy? I don't think so, right? I don't like his performance that he had against Steven Peterson, and Hakeem Dawodu is a much better version of Steven Peterson. So whenever you back a guy like Hakeem, you're gonna have to, sweat a little bit, thinking that the fight's gonna be close, but he always just chips away and always just edges his opponents in most of these rounds. I don't know if Arosa is gonna be the guy. Michael B saying, sorry if you've already touched on it, but you're still big on Aldana. I like her a lot in the spot. I do. I do. I do. The fact that it's up at 140 pounds, 5 pounds is not going to make a difference, guys. I think no matter what, like, even if Kiason did keep this at 135 and, she did make the weight, she probably would balloon up to pretty much where she's going to be at, even with them being at 140 pounds now. Aaron saying, what's your thoughts on Turkalj and Almeida? I'm not taking the chalk on Almeida, but I will be having my finger on the trigger in terms of a live betting entry on Anton should this fight reach round 2. That kid is live. I just can't get to the window, as I think Almeida will take him down and smash him, but Anton is definitely live if he can survive that first round. D. Brown saying, Hamzat loses via no contest, aka nutshot. Don't be bringing that juju out here, my friend. Zero Bob saying, Wolf could win too. She has the boxing pedigree. She is a live dog, my friend. She is definitely, or should I call her a live wolf? Andrew Marchenko saying Lainez has 3 minutes of cardio, so probably even a non-finisher like Weeks has a good chance at scoring well here. That is correct. I think yeah, I think Weeks is a good spot, but I just couldn't get to the betting window myself in regards to him. 1 second here. Okay, guys, I just had to quickly check something. Chasing Winners podcast. What's up, my man? I'll have my full card out soon, but first bet I put on was Aldana inside the distance. Love the number. At Gambling DFS tips. I just want to see something about this guy. Interesting. All right. Right back to it. How Rob B saying, is Holland a better matchup for Chimaev, or what do you think? I think Holland still gets smashed in this, honestly. Like, this could be another live betting entry as well, because Holland is difficult to put away at times. But if he does find himself in the 4th or 5th round, maybe a live betting entry on Holland is good, right? Should have the striking advantage, but I just find it hard that he's going to be able to stay on his feet for the majority of this fight. DXJC saying the Pleasure Man is 100% live more is 100% more live than the line indicates. Jilton is suspect if the fight gets extended past round 1. Bingo. Jared Cray saying that's true. And granted, Barnett and Arlovsky are polar opposites, but maybe Jake doesn't want to leave half his check in the judge's hands again. Always hard to sort out these variables. Exactly. He should win. Absolutely. Joshua Frick saying, Luck, how long do you think the Hamza fight lasts? I'd be surprised if it gets into the 3rd round. Bill Richardson in the chat saying, doesn't go to decision on Hakeem fight is the bet of the night at plus money. Tough to trust that, man. Rosa, durable. Hakeem, durable as well. And Hakeem doesn't really push the issue too much, right? He's fine with just chopping away at you from the outside. Problem Kid saying Aldana boxing and cardio for the W. You know what it is. Bill Richardson, Weeks, round 2 and 3 props. Right there with you, my friend. Joshua Frick saying Wolf isn't really a boxer. She has fought amateur fights that are 2-minute, 3 rounds. She has only beat turbo boxers. Sounds like you've been listening to my guy Cody. But she should still go out there and have the boxing advantage. Without a doubt. Prison Mike in the chat saying, "Lock, they sent one of their own prisoners to juvenile detention." Oh God, that's crazy. Joseph Wheatley saying Duadu said he's looking to get a finish, and I believe it's very possible. If it stays on the feet, I believe Duadu most likely stings him. It's tough to always trust what fighters say during fight week, right? Like, of course, they all want to go get finishes, but they never really like guys who say things like that never really deliver on it. It's not as easy as it sounds. If you're getting a good enough plus money on it, okay, sure, take the shot, but don't like go 100% he's getting the finish, right? Good luck if you take it. I have no action on that fight personally. Tristan saying that Nate versus Tony fight is super close, in my opinion. Nate's cardio and durability off the charts. Nate for sure going to win round 4 or 5 if it gets there. I think, hey, Tony has some good cardio as well. The question mark here, obviously, being is he ready to go an extra 2 rounds more than he was initially expecting to? But if there is anybody crazy enough to be ready for a 5-round fight on short notice, it is Tony Ferguson. So I wouldn't count out Tony should this fight go late. Landau saying still some value on Hamzat Holland unders. Fight to start round 4. No, still available at minus 125. Thought this would be minus 250, minus 300. I like it. I like minus 125 on that. You know, the widely available totals are over under 1.5. And I don't really like betting alternate totals if they're not available. Fight doesn't go to decision is minus 300. I'd parlay that. You know what I mean? Parlay that with fucking uh ooh, maybe Jake Collier. Not many good parlay pieces on this card, in my opinion, or at least trustworthy parlay cards. Seth Jones saying, "What's your best over under fights?" I will be dropping the total over under total or a parlay at the back end of this. So, um, at the back end of this podcast, so sit tight, my friend. Zero Bob saying Almeida should smash Anton on the ground. He should, but it's not at a minus 600 clip that it indicates. Anton is live. Don't let the boring fight that he had on the Contender Series sway you into thinking that he sucks. He won that fight handily, and he was competitive. He can be competitive here against Almeida. Hatfikin in the chat saying live bet Holland inside the distance if Chimaev starts slowing down after 2 rounds is the only way I'd play him. Bingo. It's like you read my my best bets and props article there, my friend. Casanova Trap saying, "What do you think about Jamie Pickett?" I think he wins this fight, but like it's hard for me to ever trust him as a favorite. Like he should be able to overpower Dennis in the clinch here and kind of just do what he does. He's durable enough to take the shots of Dennis, in my opinion, but his skill set is just not there. That's the big question mark that I have. So give me Pickett, but I'm staying off that fight. The spot that I was looking at, honestly, was the over in that fight. The over 2.5 is still around minus 140 on certain spots. Not too bad of a line, but I just can't get to the window myself. Chasing Winners podcast saying, now I have to know what kind of background check you're running on me. I'll say this. There was a guy, like, I know it's not you, but it just sounded familiar. So I had to just quickly look it up. But anytime I would post anything, this guy would post immediately saying, you know, with screenshots of like outrageous tickets saying, follow me for bets and all. Like he's spamming people's tweets or like guys in my positions. He's spamming their tweets with just promotion, self promotion type of shit. So I had to block him, right? Like I hate when people do that. Like state your case, state what you like, but don't be like, oh, come join this, come join the team, blah, blah, blah. Like, fuck that shit. Like, I hate when people do that shit, like on other people's posts. But it wasn't you. So you're lucky, my friend. Crying Uncle is saying maybe DraftKings called Mickey Mouse and told him, hey, Dana, there's not money being bet on these bum ass matchups. Hey, not a bad way to approach it. By the way, I really thought that he would shit on Hamzat. I really thought Dana would shit on Hamzat, but apparently he told him yesterday that he was having cramps in terms of being able to cut the weight. They probably forced him up to 185 pounds though, since he's wanted to go out there and fight there too. So, yeah, I can't be having these close, near hits and misses on the weight. Like, if you guys remember, he barely made the weight against Gilbert Burns. Jonathan Jones saying Collier finished Sherman by sub and Barnett is a quitter as soon as he gets rocked hard. Collier inside the distance and a sprinkle on a sub. Again, I'll always say this when people bring this up. Collier in the post-fight interview against Sherman said, I noticed that Sherman throws lazy kicks. If he throws lazy kicks, I'm going to grab one of those, take him to the ground, and I'm going to smash him on the mat. it comes down to how invested Jake Collier is going to be in terms of actually taking Chris Barnett to the ground. Because if he doesn't, then this could just be a tepid paced kickboxing matchup where Collier's okay to just piece him up from the outside. Tristan Sherrill saying Hamzat Chimaev made sweet love to the Leech. Now the Leech is forever grateful. That is true. Glad to get some good underdog money on him in this spot. Bill Richardson saying Arosa will force a finish, in my opinion, whether it's for him or against him. He is well. That is true. But we have seen him go to a decision in a couple fights as well, especially against guys like Hakeem Dawodu. So if you, again, you're getting good enough plus money for the fight doesn't go to decision, I'm never going to talk anybody off of a plus money spot. Joshua Frick saying, after hearing Cody, I went and looked up the grocery box and they look like they have the talent of Lawson on a wrestling match. I love it. That's hilarious. It's true, but you can't overlook the fact that she has legitimately been training boxing for years and years now. So she's definitely going to have that advantage over over Norma in this fight. Rex Sure saying Big Nick and Nate fan, but you can't touch Khabib. The guy did everything right. Hamza, be humble, brother. Nobody likes a cocky ass. Yes. It was very unfortunate of Hamzat's demeanor yesterday. Detective Allen saying, how bad do you think Hamzat's attempted cut was? He looked fine, but it must have been bad if medical stopped him that early into the gut. That's something that I've been talking about as well with this new matchup with Kevin Holland. Is if he did have a bad weight cut and if he was, really cramping up like Dana is leading us to believe, should this fight go deep, Kevin Holland is live, right? Kevin Holland is absolutely live should this fight go deep. So, especially with those cramps, what if they come up in the fight? But like Hamzat, it's not a guy that strikes me that in a fight that he would let that not, he would not allow that to let him lose the fight. But again, if it's your body is going to take over your mind for sure. Joseph Wheatley saying, thanks, Locke. Good luck to you as well. Appreciate the love, my friend. Jared Curry saying, I don't know if Nate's ready to have sand thrown in his face tonight. Always hard to prepare for that. Yeah, they gotta do a better job of sweeping up the cage, if I'm being honest. The Speedia family with the $5 donation. I love and appreciate the support on a weekly basis, my friend. Thank you, my friend. Good luck tonight as well. Seth Jones saying, do you think there's a chance Holland can pull off a win by submission? Chimaev's cardio looked worrisome in that Burns fight. They were fighting at a crazy pace in that fight, right? Burns was having tremendous success. And Chimaev, I don't think he really wanted to take Burns to the ground right off the bat, considering Burns' jiu-jitsu offerings. Maybe he's not as hesitant to take Holland to the ground. And I'm sure he won't be hesitant to take Holland to the ground here. And he won't have to work that hard for it either. So, yes, Holland will be live the later that this fight goes. I don't know if Holland will pull off a win by decision. I think if he wins this fight and it does go to a decision, Chimaev will still have won the first couple rounds dominantly enough to pull on the fight. The way that Holland would win would be a late finish. So maybe sprinkling Holland round 4, round 5, maybe even throw him round 3 if you want. That could be the best way of attacking Kevin Holland. Or even like my guy Hafkin said earlier in the chat here, make sure you guys take Holland live as well after round 2 or 3. Chris Mike saying this new mixtape is straight heat. Let's fucking go. P. Brown saying Queen Elizabeth II allegedly poisoned him. Maybe it's King Charles. Black M3 saying, how do I join the Discord? Go onto the Patreon site, go to your profile settings, and then go to apps, and then inside of that you should be able to see like a Discord join link. Click the join link and then it'll bring you the invitation and you'll be able to join there. If you have any issues, hit me up on Twitter or even hit me up on here if you're going to do it while we're doing this live chat, and I'll be able to help you out a little bit more. Problem Kid saying Pickett should win for sure, more athletic to overshare for sure. Dennis could clip him. That's the only concern that I have, and Pickett's not too trustworthy of a guy in my opinion, but I do like that over as well. Zero Bob saying, I was thinking Reed, but I like Melissa on the feet. That fight's going to be closer in my opinion than the odds indicate. But Melissa should be the faster. The fact that she cuts angles a lot better, I think, is interesting. Also, I found it hilarious that like at the weigh-in, the ceremonial weigh-ins, you see Elise Reed really, touching up her elbow and saying, "Hey, I'm gonna I'm probably going to start using these. So look for her to maybe throw some elbows whenever Melissa tries to close that distance and get her strikes off. But that's going to be a competitive fight. That will be competitive. No action on that fight for me, but I am on the Melissa side myself. Jalen Billard saying, can Chad and Helliger continue his streak? I think at a certain point it comes crashing down, and I think it is tonight as well, my friend. Bill Richardson saying, do you believe the new card was planned before by the UFC? I do not. I believe this all came together last night. Jared Curry saying, can shit on the cash cow, might have even more people tuning in now to hopefully see him lose. Maybe. I think you're talking about Chimaev there. Jonathan Jones saying Barnett throws a lot of kicks as well. True, but does he throw them as lazily as Chase Sherman was throwing them? And is Jake Collier picking up on that? Adrian Ta with the $10 donation. Appreciate the super chats whenever they come in. Always love it. Always appreciate it. Let's lock this card down, bro. Let's get it done. Casanova Trap saying Macy. I think she's outmatched in this fight. I think Aldana pieces her up and then knocks her out. Oh, Mike is acting funky. Huh. I apologize. How is it now? Sorry. Still a little bit buzzy, but nowhere near as bad. Oh shit. Um Here, give me one. Okay, I'm good now. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know why that was. I love that you guys are like, that was crazy. You guys are funny. Sorry, guys. You guys are hilarious. Shit. Again, if I miss anybody's questions and you didn't hear what I said, please ask them again. I'm just going to go to the bottom of the live chat now. Uh, okay, I'm going to go right to the bottom of the chat. Make sure it's okay. All right. Okay. As long as it's all good, appreciate that. Let's see. TXJC saying he's going to see all the audio problems now and realize it fixed itself. That's funny. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. All right. I'm just going to go right back to the bottom. So if there's a question that you asked I didn't answer prior, hit me again and I'll answer it. All right. JD Match saying, what do you think about Johnny Walker? I think he's live here. I don't think that Kutalaba deserves to be a minus 200 favorite. Sure, he should be able to knock out Johnny Walker here, which is why I can't pick either side. But if he can't knock him out quickly, Johnny Walker could absolutely have success of his own. James O saying Walker KOs Kutalaba. It's possible. It is absolutely possible. Zero Bob saying Hakeem might get his first KO. Rosa's Chinny. It's just, will he commit to trying to get that finish? Thomas Kane saying hot take. Almeida gets grounded out. Going to lose the scramble. What the fuck was that? That's weird. The scrub also has good ground and pound. Almeida not in small cage for the first time. You're all welcome. Yes, Anton is absolutely live. Vinny G saying just officially joined the Discord. Yes, sir. It's been a while. You've been a Patreon member for a while and still haven't jumped in there. Actually, you did. I thought you were in here before. Ah, well. Glad that you're in it now for as well. Problem Kid saying I like Johnny Walker. Kutalaba being more composed is actually hurting his style. True. He's going to have to really swing for the fences early in this fight because I think that's his best way of winning this fight and actually looking minus 200. Tristan saying if Holland wins, do they give him a title shot? I don't think so, but I think they'll like skyrocket him and put him up there against, the Colby Covingtons or the Gilbert Burnses or the top 5 for sure. For Chimaev, this does nothing, though. Let's be honest. It does just as much for him as it did when he was fighting Nate Diaz. Cope's Corner reminding you guys, throw me a like. That'd be great. Jared Curry saying, I'm happy Johnny overcame the devil's lettuce. Maybe he'll substitute it with something better for him, like crack. Oh, that's funny. That is so funny. Leo saying locks of the week. Unfortunately, it's behind the Patreon paywall this week, my friend. But the dog of the night play is free, and that is Li Jingliang at plus 140. Okay, saying lock. This is what happens when we agree on my parlay. Exactly. Now your parlay is left in shambles, is it not? DXJC saying the guy turned college fought on Dana White Contender Series to a decision is the same guy that Jelton went to a decision with in a grappling match. There you go. So he can compete at that level. Vikings saying, sorry late to the chat. Thoughts on Kukui getting the dub? I think he wins. I think he chops up Nate Diaz. I think he cuts him up. I think he even wins by TKO cut stoppage, but I think his money line is possible is proper where it's at as well. Crying Uncle saying, I wonder if Walker is going to get electrified again by a blow from Kutalaba. That's hilarious. Jimmy's saying Walker looked towering over Hulk. Yes, Hulk is not the biggest light heavyweight out there. You know, it's even evident in his fight against Ryan Spann, if you guys remember that one. And that's why I don't really like his chances too much in this spot, because if he looks to take Johnny down, he's going to struggle to hold Johnny down, just as he struggled to hold Ryan Spann down. MVM saying a grappling match without ground and pound is a lot different than a fight. Anton is terrible. I wouldn't call him terrible, my friend. He will be competitive in this matchup. Problem Kid saying I got Almeida on KO sub method at plus 800 last night on the bookie I used. I don't know how. Good luck. That's better than playing that chalk. D Brown saying Holland could get it done, avoiding to takedowns and implementing body shots, kicks, and knees, and angling off and somewhat duplicating Burns-like intensity to induce Hamza cramping potential. I don't know if he's going to be able to avoid the takedowns from this guy. And again, the reason I don't think Hamza's sold out for big takedowns against Gilbert Burns is Gilbert high-level jiu-jitsu, right? They're both black belts. You know, Kevin Holland and Gilbert Burns are black belts, but we know that there's levels to black belts as well. Jimmy saying if you miss heavyweight over 265, do you really have more than a round in you? Finish prop under 1.5. Again, it just depends on the intentions that Jake Collier has in terms of actually pushing the pace and looking for a finish. Tristan saying, I hope Walker lands a crazy athletic KO like he used to. Yeah, remember when he burst onto the scene and then I think he got a big win over Misha Serkinov and then tried doing the worm and broke his or tore his shoulder or something like that? Absolutely hilarious. What do you think about D-Rod? He should be the favorite here, but I think at a certain point in those pocket exchanges, he's going to get clipped and put out. Andrew Marchenko saying, is Johnny still training with the useless bum, John Kavanagh? I think he is, if I'm not mistaken. Cope's Corner saying, you got some awesome fans. We have some trolls that come in every now and then, but for the most part, they are pretty solid dudes. Jonathan Jones saying sprinkle weeks round 2 and 3. I agree. Bill Richardson saying 25-1 Tony by Dr. Stoppage. Worth the sprinkle considering his blades and considering the and considering the scar tissue on Nate Diaz. Joseph saying the pleasure man worth the sprinkle at plus 500. I believe so. Joe Rogan's forehead wrinkles always coming in with a little bit of spiciness, saying you're so passionate about defending technology, always got to play devil's advocate. Hey, on minus 600s, minus 700s, why not? Like, it's not like I'm trying to defend a fucking plus 150 underdog or something like that. Like, we're talking about wide odds here. You got to be a little bit more open-minded in those circumstances. Andrew Marchenko saying that, bro, Richardson, holy shit, that's a good one. Probably bet limits are like $50 on it, but definitely worth it. Yeah, depending on the bookie, for sure. Thomas Kane saying, I'm usually not a cage guy, but I really think cage size affects at least 3 of these fights. I'm not a big cage guy as well myself. Scott Tick saying, crazy world we living in. You know what it is. Cope saying, you need trolls. Means you're good. That is true. Never mind saying, I watched Anton fight. He's trash. Whether or not Jilton shits the bed is another question. SAO Dos Santos isn't good. There's a reason Anton didn't get signed. Hey, Carl Williams went out there last week and did exactly what Anton to college did. Took his opponent down, controlled him, and the guy couldn't do anything about it. Entertaining fighters does not mean you are shit or good. That has nothing to do with it. He controlled that guy. He dominated that guy in the Contender Series. He just didn't do it in entertaining fashion. And I'm saying this all without a bet on Anton myself. So just know that at the end of the day. Jared Curry saying, does Cloudbat have a blood prop for the new main event? A good question. I'm not sure if they've updated it. Let me take a quick look here for you guys. Good plug there as well, my friend. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Diaz, Ferguson. Who will shed blood first? That is the thing here. Minus 114 on Tony Ferguson, minus 105 on Nate Diaz. There you go. Close enough. Problem Kid saying hard fade on unproven contenders, guys. Can we call Jailton Almeida somewhat unproven still? I know you're talking about Anton, but like there's an argument that Jailton is somewhat unproven as well, right? Parker Porter and Danilo Marquez. DXJC saying it's not even defending to college. It's not riding the hype of Jailton for running through Danilo. Just again, I should read the comments before I just say what I say because sometimes you guys say it as well. DXJC saying, as the head of the Parker Porter fan club, let me break it to you all. He's not actually the future heavyweight goat. There we go. I am vice president, I guess. Problem Kid saying, but Porter had over 35 pounds on him, didn't he? Still got ragdolled. But that, I still don't think that, Almeida is a beast for sure. The guy is very strong. So having a 35-pound weight advantage on him won't mean much in my opinion because he can still go out there and brute these takedowns. And luckily for him, he only needed the one. But if this Anton guy can stay competitive and not give up that dominant position right off the bat, he can be live. Ankar Hundol in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by, my friend. DXJC is saying the weight is meaningless when there's a clear technique skill discrepancy. Exactly. But Thompson saying DraftKings is all messed up. You can basically submit any line if you want. That is true. But I was not going to fall for your earlier comment there is all I'm going to say. Here's a mic. Appreciate you stopping by. Never mind, I'm saying Carl Williams was an underdog, not a favorite. Took the fight on short notice up a weight class. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying here. Anton is the underdog in this matchup. Like, I get where you're coming from. Anton was the favorite in his matchup on the Contender Series, but he still did the exact same thing that Carl Williams did. So, favorite or underdog, he showed skills that he could still go out there and impose his will on guys without them having much of an answer for it. Now you're getting him as an underdog, a big underdog in the spot. So to overlook him because he wasn't entertaining on the Contender Series is a poor way of looking at it. Like, I think the one aspect of MMA that I feel like people harp on too much is the outside of the cage stuff. Look at the tape. Entertainment, entertaining fights or not, do not worry about that shit. Look at how well they impose their will on their opponents. Look at how well they, react to getting hit and come back from adversity. How well they push off the cage and get out of bad positions. Look at that stuff. Who gives a fuck about, some of the out of cage stuff, the run they're on and all that type of stuff. Stylistically, how do they match up with the opponent in front of them? Then take the odds into consideration and then make your decision off that in terms of what you want to bet or not. Almeida at minus 600 here. I think it's with the question marks that he has. David Onama, a couple weeks ago against Nate Landwehr. If he didn't finish him in that first round, loses that fight. What happens? He loses that fight. Same thing here. If Jailton doesn't finish this early in the fight, he will start to fall off and Anton will start to take over. I'm not meaning to get mad at you. Never mind, Em. You are one of my loyal supporters, always coming in on the chats. But like, let's try to level head it a little bit. Thomas saying always play round 3 versus big muscles. Muscle heads tend to gas 1/10 of a unit. There you go. Joseph Wheatley saying Anton didn't get signed because he talked a lot and came in with a lot of hype and chose to play it safe and get a win via control. Win is a win at the end of the day. Look at this. Juicy J in the chat here saying Rosa sub is going to hit. I wouldn't expect anything different from somebody named Juicy J. Detective Allen saying, I don't think it'll happen, but Kevin Holland by KO would fit perfectly into our timeline card craziness. Yeah. But I hope Chimaev continues to smash. Prison Mike is saying Norma Demon is going to win and twerk some of on top Wolf's head. We'll see. She doesn't seem like much of a twerker. Zero Bob saying Anton is good, but he will get taken down easily. It's can he survive? Is a question. Jerry Curry saying minus 105 on Diaz. Did we just find a new lock of the night play? He might start bleeding during his walkout. No. For the who bleeds first. Again, it's soft limits on that, so I'm going to get too crazy on that myself. JD match saying Darian or Johan, who you got? I'm leaning Weekster as he has more tools here, better gas tank as well. Johan is definitely dangerous early, which is why I'm not betting on Darian here, but I think Darian survives that early onslaught and wins. Vikings saying Kukui and Hamzat seems a lock. I wouldn't call it a lock, but I do think those both win. Joe Rogan's forehead wrinkle saying wasn't part of your guy though. Now he's trash. You know what I meant by when he's my guy, right? It's tongue in cheek. Obviously, he's not an amazing talent, but like he will be able to beat guys around his skill set. You know, the Chase Shermans and whoever the fuck else, the Josh Parisians. Like he'll beat those guys for sure. But when he's at a clear skill discrepancy against a guy like Jelton who can take him down easily to the mat and then just smash him with his jujitsu, of course he's going to lose. Is Park reported live against Hamdi Abdel Wahab? Yes, because Hamdi is not Jelton early in fights. Andrew Archenko saying lock Nate is 6,600 and Tony is 7,200. If the shit goes 5 rounds, do you see them both scoring well enough to be an optimal 150 significant strikes plus seems plausible? I think that's true. Like, I think if you are a DK guy that submits multiple lineups, you'll likely want to have, some lineups of both of these guys because more than likely this fight goes all 5 rounds. Unless, of course, there's a cut stoppage of some sort, but this fight likely goes all 5. God damn it. You know what? Give me 1 sec, guys. Let me let me just unplug my mic and plug it back in. Just give me 1 sec. All right. Let me know. Let me know if this sounds good. I literally plugged everything out and back in. Andrew Marchenko saying maybe Alfie had a good chew on a wire or something. Yes, please let me know if it's better now. Check. Never mind saying Mike is fine now. Prison Mike saying I'll be the mic for lock while he's fixing his mic. You're the best. Okay. Fuck, I don't know why it keeps going in and out. Cope saying it has to be internet lock because your video got odd. Audio is good too. Usually I get like on StreamYard, it'll tell you at the top left if you're like having a bad connection, but weird. That is very weird. All right, let me see if I can. I don't know which questions you guys did not hear me answer, but please let me know. Never mind saying if Carl was a favorite and not up a weight class, you wouldn't have got signed, is my point. True. Okay, yes, we can agree on that. I do agree on that. But his style is effective. I think at the end of the day, the point that I'm trying to make is that their styles are effective. Anton's style is effective. He is not terrible, in my opinion. I think you're being a little bit too harsh on him for that. All right. You know what? While I wait for more questions to roll in here, I'll just share my totals parlay for the card. I believe it did hit last week. Last week was absolutely crazy. UFC Paris absolutely killed it. Hopefully, we can keep that good juju rolling on into this one here. All right, let me pull up the totals parlay that I have for you guys. All right, totals parlay. Here we go. Li Jingliang, Daniel Rodriguez under 2.5. Kutilaba Walker under 1.5. Arosa Dewadu over 2.5. Alatang Hali and Hellinger over 2.5. Reed Martinez over 2.5, and then Weeks Lanes under 2.5. That is a 6-legger. Let's do that one more time for anybody that missed it. Li Jingliang, Daniel Rodriguez under 2.5. Iwan Kutalaba, Johnny Walker under 1.5. Julian Rosa, Hakeem Dawadu over 2.5. Hali Alatang, Chad Anheliger over 2.5. Elise Reed, Melissa Martinez over 2.5. And lastly, Darian Weeks, Johan Lanes under 2.5. There you guys go. Oh. Jonathan Jones saying, I like the Leach as an underdog play. Seems like it's his week with everything that happened and him being the shining light of the week. Hopefully they like have his suit ready to go so that when he does win, he can just quickly put it on and flaunt it. Because that's obviously been the big thing this week. But no, I like him in this spot. You know, I think that at a certain point that one of those exchanges, he's going to be able to clip Daniel Rodriguez and put him out. Prison Mike's pissed off that UFC Fight Pass doesn't have KSW. KSW is killing it over there in Poland, so I don't think they ever want to be on Fight Pass. Vikings saying chances of post-fight brawls. I think the only one it would happen with is actually, you know what, with Holland and Shmaev, I think they would make up afterwards. Like, there's nothing more resolving in a fight than, you know, having two guys actually scrap it out, and then come out on the other end and be like, all right, you got the best of me. All good. Credit to you. I don't think that there'll be any brawls tonight. Andrew Marchenko saying, why wouldn't Gelatin fight at 205? Stupid catch weights or heavyweights. Why the hell they can't just book him for a bout at 205? From what I heard, nobody wants to fight him. Nobody wants to fight him at 205. So at least fighting at heavyweight, he can stay active enough by not having to be in shape and having to cut all the way down to 205. He can just hover around at his natural weight and take fights whenever they present themselves. So, like, I understand why 205ers were not fighting him because, you know, it was a lose-lose situation at that time. The kid has so much hype. He's very dangerous. And they're going to be offering up their ranking for him to take. So they're just like, no, I'm not going to fight this guy. Not yet, at least. So I get why he's fighting at heavyweight. Jewish Better saying, we made the baguettes last weekend. Yes, we did, my friend. Problem Kid saying, D-Rod is a lot bigger and will have grappling advantage. I just don't know how strong of a grappling advantage he's going to have. That's my question mark here. I don't know if he'll be like, sure, he weighed in 9 pounds heavier what it was than Lee, but I don't think it's going to play in heavily here in this matchup because they're both welterweights technically. Lajon Dream in the chat, catching the end of this. It's all good, my friend. Jimmy Mataloni saying, can we talk about fighters getting worn down by mental stress before a fight? I think it affects some fighters more than others. I don't think it's going to affect either of the guys that are on the card here. Juice Bear saying D-Rod fought at 155 before, and how does he have a grappling advantage? I will agree, though. I do think he is the better grappler here, but I just don't know if it's wide enough that he's going to have to that he can use it effectively in this spot. Aaron saying, with the mutual respect, is Diaz attempt to stalk and slap on El Kakui? I don't think so. Maybe later in this fight. Maybe if the crowd bumps him up enough. Detective Allen saying, how much longer till prelims? I'm hyped now, ready to see some fights. I believe it's another 4 hours. 6 p.m. Eastern is when the fights kick off, in my opinion. Not my opinion, from what I know. Cobb's Corner saying, Aldana, I think is too much for Macy. Who do you like, Lock? I am all over at any Aldana there, my friend. Juicy J saying, Hamza seems like the type of dude to pull a Paul Daly after losing. Maybe. Shout out to Paul Daly as well. That was the first ever event I went to. That's the poster that I have right here. UFC 113, Koscheck and Daly in the co-main event, and then Shogun capturing the light heavyweight title from Lyoto Machida. But that was the first ever event I went to. That was hilarious seeing that go down. Landau saying, what odds would you bet Almeida at if he's minus 250? Are you hammering it? I would, like, I'd go closer to maybe minus 200. And again, even not hammering it. The big issue that I have is I can't back guys that don't legitimately have cardio. Like, cardio for Almeida is a big question mark for me still. Because if he doesn't get it done early in this fight, things could get hairy. That's my issue. I want to see him work through that. If he goes through this fight full 15 minutes and completely out grapples and dominates Anton, I'll be more sold on him. But I need to see him longer than fucking 1 minute or, however long his fights have been going. Any fight that he's at over the second round, he's lost. Not a good look. Like, if you're looking to bet him inside the distance, okay. Maybe the round one prop, sure. But money line odds, nah, I'm good. Problem Kid saying, did you not see the Kevin Lee fight? He has a good guard. He does have a good guard, yeah, but like Kevin Lee, after that first round sucks. He does suck. His cardio, Kevin Lee's another guy who, his talent doesn't allow him to thrive because his cardio is not able to match up with it. Corey Yibo saying, while we wait, we hydrate. You know what it is. Cope's Crunch saying, you had me scared. What did something happen? What scared you? Probably Kid saying, if Lee shoots like he did round 2 and tries to hold D-Rod, it all becomes very relevant. I don't think he'll try to shoot. I think Lee's going to try to knock him out. Black M3 saying, what is Gabby Garcia parlay? If anybody knows who Gabby Garcia is, it's pretty much she is a colossal woman, massive woman. Just Google her and you'll see what I mean with the pictures. But the Gabby Garcia parlay is pretty much like my long shot play of the card. So that's the parlay that you're looking at. Don't put too much on it. It's more so just for fun. It's a lottery ticket. If I were to bet on every single fight on the card and make a parlay of it, that's what the Gabby Garcia parlay is. Drew Sparrow saying, yes, I did. Kevin had round 1 with wrestling easy. Guard is bad in MMA. If Kevin didn't fight like shit and more than anything, gas really bad, I think he wrestle fucks T-Rod. His cardio is just never dependable. Prison Mike saying, best believe Tony Ferguson is catching the slap. We'll see about that. Andrew Marchenko saying, I'm not getting into who wins Almeida to college, but tell me this, Lock. Who is here more likely to score takedowns? Does Almeida have a takedowns upside? I think early he does, but I think Anton is actually the better wrestler. Like, technically speaking, I think Anton is the better wrestler here. So early Almeida, but the longer this goes, I think Anton starts to land his takedowns a little bit more. Robert Cello saying, who's more delusional? People who believe Nate would have won or people who think Chimaev was too scared so he missed weight to dodge the fight? Both guys, let's be honest. DXJC saying, never forget Kevin Lee, deadass, almost lost to modern day post Fabia, Diego Sanchez. Exactly. Landau saying, has made an Aspinall situation where you're going to fade the guy because of cardio concerns and he just keeps running through the division. Well, I've only faded Almeida once. I've learned my lesson. I am not fading him again. And I learned my lesson with Aspinall as well. I'm not fading him either. I should have faded him in the Curtis Blades fight because I would have fucking cashed that bet there. But for me, it's more so don't bother fading him. Just sit back and let the answers come to you. There's no need to try to jump on it and try to make money off it. If you are, of the risky type and are okay with, possibly taking an L on taking a big shot on, or even taking a sprinkle on Anton, albeit, but I'm going to just sit back and see how this plays out. Problem Kid saying that is true. Kevin lacked the work ethic, but I still think D-Rod would look that good. All right, we're getting down to the last minute or two here. I'm just going to go down to the Urban Men in New Jersey saying Gabby Garcia parlay is calling all fights on the card money line. No, I do add in props, mainly like goes to decision or fight doesn't go to decision. Detective saying, does Tony retire if he loses tonight? I don't think so. Don't tap podcast in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by, my friend. Lano's saying, what's your soft drink of choice? You a Pepsi? I'm more of a root beer guy than anything. Never mind saying BKFC has some easy plays. Please drop them as I'm about to hop off here in the next minute or two. Would love to hear what you have for the viewers. Hopefully you can come through on that. Cope saying, when I asked about Aldana, that's when you had me scared. I didn't want you to say Macy. Oh, no. Aldana should win that without much issue. Knowledge 11 saying, looking fresh in the white tee, bro. Thank you, as always, for the content. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Hopefully we can cash tonight. Urban saying, Tony and Nate over 2.5 at plus minus 250 with Nate's cuts. That's why I'm scared about playing the fight doesn't go to decision or fight goes to decision, because if Nate doesn't get cut up and this fight does go, it can go the full 25 minutes. That's the only concern that I have here. And considering how much Tony loves to throw his elbows, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Problem Kid saying, if you made one money line bet tonight, who would it be below minus 350? Easy peasy. I didn't nail Donna. Jared Grayson, got to show up, say there's easy money to be made, and then bounce. Yes, I'm going to give Nevermind M a couple minutes here to see if he's actually still around, and we'll be happy to share those BKFC easy plays. Don't tap saying Aldana decision, but first round speaker just because her KOs are round 1. I think it could possibly come round 2 once Macy starts to wear down a little bit. DXJC saying we're in Vegas, right? They ain't stopping for a cut unless Nate literally passes out from blood loss. Good point. Good point. Cope saying the Chicana at N Aldana. You know what it is. Urban saying, what do you think about the Hakeem Dawadu situation with his weight? First time he's missed weight, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not going to read too much into it. I think he still wins, but already I don't have any action on that fight. So I'm not going to look to get in on it now either. All right, I will give Nevermind M one more minute to drop his BKFC plays if he still has them. Otherwise, I'm going to hop on out of here. And luckily for you guys, if you are still not tired of my face, I'm happy. I'm hopping on with my guy Brady from DFS by the numbers. We're going to be breaking down the fight one last time for you guys. I believe on his channel or Pub Sports. I'm not sure where it's going down, but I will be going live with him at 4 p.m. Eastern. Check out my Twitter timeline to see where it's going to be, or check out his Twitter timeline. But we will be breaking down the fights together. It's been a while since I've broken down fights with him, so I'm very much looking forward to it. But please do come through for that as well. Andrew Marchenko saying, Tony actually did win round 1 with Chandler. Last time Nate looked good was 7 years ago against Michael Johnson. He did look good against fucking Anthony Pettis. He beat Anthony Pettis. So, but I get what you mean. Yes, Tony should win this fight. Urban asking, do I collect Prism cards? I do not. Here we go. Never mind, with some BKFC bets for you guys. Shout out to my guy here saying Jenny Savage minus 300, Savage KO minus 100, Britton Hart minus 200, Billy Wagner minus 300, and Wagner KO as well. There we go. Make sure you guys give my guy Nevermind M some love as well. Jared saying, you've been putting in a fucking shift this week, Luck. The hustle has been unreal the past few days. Appreciate the love, my friend. Got to keep you guys happy, right? George saying, we can see here in your channel the fight. No, I am not illegally streaming the fights here. DXJC saying, feeding Joe Riggs at even money is always a move for BKFC. Exactly. All right. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Hop on over to Brady's channel at 4 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if it's on his or Pub Sports, but just follow me on Twitter at MMALOTN. I'll drop the link there before we go live, and you guys will be able to see me on stream once again, chopping it up with one of my favorite guys in the chat or in the game. All right. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Good luck tonight. Peace out. Free bet, by the way. Li Jingliang 1 unit minus plus 142. Let's fucking go.